Welcome back to the channel where today we are jumping ships back over into England where Crystal Palace have qualified for Europa League football after winning the Emirates FA Cup, beating Manchester City on the final day there at Wembley. They finished mid-table-ish in the league. There's a possibility in real life where they actually don't get to play Europa League football or any European football thanks to their co-ownership within the Lyon organization. However, if Lyon are to get relegated and their appeal confirms to be upheld and they are fully relegated down to League 2, they will omit themselves from being able to play in European football, which would essentially allow Crystal Palace to play in the Europa League for winning the FA Cup. Now, if that doesn't happen, there's a possibility where Crystal Palace gets sold in a sort of a sense to a different ownership where Crystal Palace then can become eligible to play in the Europa League. It's all up in the air at the moment, but as of right now, we are going to pretend like Crystal Palace are in the Europa League after winning the FA Cup like they should be. And as of right now, there's a couple of options where a couple of their key players could be sold in the summer window. Right now, Eberechi Eze is looking to be moving on to either Arsenal, which is a strong favorite at the moment, or Tottenham, either side of North London. Possibly more than likely going to be joining Arsenal. So if we do get a transfer offer from Arsenal, we will go ahead and sell Eze. And the same thing goes for Mark Guéhi. If we get a transfer offer from Liverpool, we will go ahead and sell Mark Guéhi. Liverpool are currently offered in Mark Guéhi at the moment as well. Don't know what's going on in Liverpool's mind right now besides the unfortunate passing of Diego Jota over on Thursday of July 3rd. Rest in peace to Diego Jota and his brother. It's a freak car accident, and life is too short. So yeah, we're jumping here now. We have, for winning the Europa League, the game has actually given us 119 million. That's what they've given us to be able to spend. 119 million to spend to build a squad worthy of winning the Europa League and fighting for titles. So that is our aim, is to obviously win the Champions League eventually, but this first season, maybe win Europa League. That'd be great. And the first player we bring in is Antonio Nusa, coming in from RB Leipzig. We did just use him in the RB Leipzig rebuild on Friday, but coming in now, he comes in for 35 million. He'll be our left winger. We didn't really have one, but now it's him. Welcome to the squad. And we do go ahead and bring in Mark Guéhi's replacement already without selling Mark Guéhi. But Diomande is linked to be the replacement for Mark Guéhi if he is off to go to Liverpool. We go ahead and bring him in now in the hopes that possibly be paired alongside Guéhi for this rebuild. Who knows? But for now, welcome to the squad. Welcome to not RB Leipzig. Welcome to Crystal Palace, Mr. Diomande. We're going to improve our attack as well by bringing in the youngster prospect in his name of Tyler Dibbling. The man that apparently Southampton value at 100 million despite getting relegated. Tyler Dibbling will come to the squad at Crystal Palace to be part of our front three. Welcome to the squad. And after just over halfway through, we are sitting 10th in the table after 23 games. We are currently, 6 points off top 7, roughly, and 10 points off top 4 there. As far as the Europa League goes, we are in the playoffs of that. We are 13th in the actual standings, so we get playoff action against Villarreal. I won't stop. I'll just simulate through all the way to the end of the season. If we make the final, we make the final. If we don't, we don't. First leg here are the playoffs against Villarreal. If we can advance, that'd be great. It's a 1-0 win. Second leg here against Villarreal, and we win 3-2 on aggregate. We move on to the round of 16. Europa League round of 16 versus Sporting, and we win, or we lose, I should say, 2-1. Second leg here, we could be out of the Europa League at this point. 3-3. I don't know. It would have to be on penalties. I won't know unless I hit X or we see another one. So who knows? And we did advance on to the next round of the Europa League because we get Benfica as we draw 1-1 in that first league. In that second leg here against Crystal Palace, against your Benfica, we win 4-2 on aggregate. We into the semifinals of the Europa League. It's Latium, aka Lazio, in the semifinals. We win. How are we beating Lazio 2-1 on the semifinals here of the Europa League? We could win the Europa League here and make Champions League football despite a poor league performance. We beat Watford, who shouldn't be in the Prem, but hey ho, it's the way that things go. And then the second leg here of the Europa League, and we win 4-3 on aggregate. We are into the final of the Europa League. In the final of the Europa League, it's against Olympiacos for the Champions League, a 1-0 win. And Crystal Palace are your Europa League champions. We will have Champions League football next season. How? I don't know how. We finish the season in 9th in the league, but we win the Europa League, which means we get top 4 in Champions League football. So we will absolutely take that. Don't know how we've managed to win the Europa League, but hey ho, we have. This team has been fantastic. And Nusa with 18 goals, Mateta with 16 goals, Dibbling with 14 goals, and Kaya with 14 goals as well. On to season 2/3, where we have Champions League football. And some major improvements are going to be made to this squad. And we go ahead and bring in Riccardo Calafiori over from the Arsenal to strengthen our Champions League debut squad here. Welcome into the squad. You will replace Tyrell Mitchell at that left back position. Welcome in for 39 million, 34 million. And also, before we went ahead and signed Riccardo Calafiori, we brought in a couple of free agents in the like of Elia Mancini, Santiago Jimenez, Morgan Liich, Bruno Tavares, and Milan Pieters. They all come in as free agents, as backup players, and just decent level squad depth players as well. And we go ahead and bring in Arnu Martinez, strengthening the other side of the fullback department. We swap out Munoz, who's getting up there in age, 30 years old and leading overall. We get to bring in a younger and higher overall Arnu Martinez over from Girona. Welcome to Crystal Palace. And just after halfway, we are sitting 10th in the Premier League. We have Champions League playoff action against Bayern Munich. Oh, that's great there. We finished 19th in the league phase. We face off against Bayern Munich in the Champions League. This is only going to go one of two ways. We are going to get absolutely demolished, or we are going to scrape by. So let's see us get absolutely demolished. We draw the first leg 2-2. We lose the second leg 3-2. We get scraped by on. And now we have to fight for hopefully some type of European football come the end of the season. Don't know how possible it will be. It might be a season without European football next season. And it's another season finishing in 9th here again, or at least mid-table-ish. No European football for us next season unless it's falling down all the way low. But Arsenal are your league winners by a single goal. They nearly had the same exact record as Man City, but they actually had one less loss. They've just had 2 less losses compared to Man City, so there is that. Yeah, FA Cup, maybe us? No. Arsenal loses to Man United, but Arsenal do win the Carabao Cup there. Champions League final, it's Liverpool versus Atletico Madrid. Bayern Munich didn't even make it past the round of 16, which is unfortunate there. On to the next season. We improve our goalkeeper department by bringing in Orestes over from Liverpool, but the youngster comes into the squad to be the new #1 goalkeeper. Welcome into Crystal Palace. Hopefully we can get into European football. We say goodbye to Cheek Decorda. He is off to somewhere else. Somewhere else is Aston Villa because we swap him with Kamada. He comes into the squad to be the new #1 CDM paired alongside Adam Wharton. Welcome to Crystal Palace. Welcome to our brand new life. And at the end of the season, I just want to jump to the end of the season. We had nothing going on. We finished in 3rd, which means we are back into the Champions League in there. The FA Cup, it goes to Man City. They beat Man United. The Carabao Cup, it goes to Tottenham. They beat Arsenal in the North London derby. That's never going to happen in the cup final ever. Top goal scorer is Mateta with 20, but he is up there in age at 30 years old, so we could be looking on the way out there. Antonio Musa is up to 88 overall, too, by the way. Tyler Dibley. We still have a hold of Eze. Arsenal or Tottenham haven't came in for him. Neither has Liverpool came in for Marquez. Those are the only clubs we're selling them to, so we'll keep them on or hold on to them as long as we can. And on to the next season where we are back into Champions League action. And Eze is going to have to take a step back to being back into a backup department here, because we bring in Thiago Almada over from Barcelona. He comes in to be our new #1 cam. Welcome to the squad. And we go ahead and make an improvement in the striking department as well by bringing in Samu over from Nottingham Forest. An 87 rated striker will come in. Mateta is going to have to be backup or be sold. And that is pretty much our squad complete now for the season here, because the starting 11 is actually really decent here. It's just the bench that might be a little lackluster, but screw it, we don't need the bench. If the bench is lackluster, that means our best players are going to play and our best players are in the starting lineup, so that is good in itself in its way. Halfway through the season, or of course over just halfway, because we skipped through the Champions League phase, which means we go to the start of February. We are currently sitting in 5th in the Premier League. We are 2 points off the top spot, or not top spot, the top 4, which is 3rd and 4th. We are 8 points off of Manchester City at the top spot. As far as the Champions League goes, we are in the playoffs taking on AC Milan. We finished 22nd, so we were barely made the cut in there. So we scraped by, and now we take on AC Milan, who finished in 14th, and hopefully we can have a better performance than what we did against Bayern Munich in the 2 seasons ago. We are also still in the FA Cup against Southampton, so let's see if we can beat AC Milan here in the Champions League. First leg here against AC Milan in the not quarterfinals, the playoffs. It's a 2-2 draw. The second leg here against AC Milan in the Champions League. We pick a man of the match, what gives me hope. A 5-4 aggregate win. So we would 3-2 on the final on the second leg. We are into the Champions League round of 16 for the first time. We go ahead and face off against Fiorentina in the round of 16 here. And here are the other opponents and matchups. Benfica versus Bayern Munich. Man City versus Real Madrid. That's a massive round of 16. Dortmund versus Ajax. Barcelona versus Napoli. Arsenal versus Leipzig. We take on Fiorentina. PSV versus PSG. And Bayer Leverkusen versus Atletico Madrid. First leg here against Fiorentina here. Crystal Palace. 3-1 win. Second leg here against Fiorentina. Can we get to the quarterfinals? Yes, we can. 6-2 on aggregate. The quarterfinals awaits. And in the quarterfinals, we faced off against PSG. This looks absurd. What is this Champions League? You have all these great teams like Arsenal, Bayern, PSG, Barcelona, Real Madrid, Atletico versus Dortmund, and then you have mighty old Crystal Palace in the mix as well. But you see there, Arsenal versus Bayern Munich. Last time that happened, Arsenal got knocked out. I was about to say last time that happened it was a 10-2, but it actually wasn't. That just happened last year. Arsenal versus Bayern did happen last year. PSG versus Crystal Palace, Barcelona versus Real Madrid in El Clasico, and Atletico Madrid in versus Borussia Dortmund. But before we get to that, as far as the Premier League goes, we are climbing. We currently sit 3rd in the Premier League, and even with Arsenal and Liverpool's and everybody else's game in hand, they cannot beat us at the moment. So at the moment, we are sitting comfortably in 3rd. We are either 5 points off of Manchester City, or we will be 6 points off of Newcastle United at the top of the table, depending on their game in hand. And then we are in the semifinals of the Emirates FA Cup, where we are taking on Manchester United, the hardest team left in this competition. So if we can advance through that, that'd be great. But main priority is trying to advance against PSG, which I do not think will happen. It's the first leg here in France, PSG versus Crystal Palace. A 3-2 loss. We kept it close. There's a possibility. Second leg here, we need a massive 2-goal win here, and that is exactly what we will not have. Will we have? We beat them. Did we actually beat them 2-0? We beat them 4-1. What's that? Huh? We beat PSG at home 4-1. We lost to them in the first leg. We are into the semifinals of the Champions League, or semifinals of the Champions League, where we're taking on Real Madrid after they beat Barcelona. Next up for us is the FA Cup against Man United. I love how we go beating PSG to Toronto Middlesbrough 2-2. FA Cup semi-final action at Wembley, and it will be, I'm assuming, Man United winning on penalties because they picked up man of the match. And actually, no, it will not. They pick up man of the match, but we still win on penalties. So FA Cup final against West Ham United. Champions League semifinal where we are taking on Real Madrid after they beat Barcelona in the El Clasico 3-2 win on aggregate. We take down we don't take down, but Borussia Dortmund versus Bayern Munich is another rivalry there for a trip to the final. That's going to be fierce. I have a feeling we're going to get knocked out here against Real Madrid, though. It's the first leg at home. We pick up man of the match. Our keeper picks up man of the match. More importantly, it's a 1-0 win in the first leg, so we go to the Bernabeu with barely a win. It means nothing when you're playing Real Madrid. A 1-0 win means absolutely nothing. It's the second leg here, and Crystal Palace are through to the final 4-2 on aggregate, which is a 3-1 win. No, a 3-2 win. A 3-2 win. We are into the final of the Champions League. Vamos. It's the Champions League final versus Bayern Munich here at the Olympiastadion. Tyler Dibley into Samu. An early attack possibly for Crystal Palace. Can it create anything? Samu gets past one. Can't get past two. Rebound! Jordan Pickford made the initial save. Nusa missed the second one. Musiala, Sieb. I can only assume that's a regen. Bayern Munich 1. Musiala 2-0 for Bayern Munich. Adam Wharton, he's going to have possession of it. Adam Wharton out wide for Nusa. And Antonio Musa across the face of the net for Samu. It's 2-1. Jamal Musiala, Sieb, save, is not save, it's Tyler Dibbling into Samu, and Samu, heavy touch shot was blocked. Tyler Dibbling blocked by Alphonso Davies. Sieb to make it 4, it is 4. Diego Almada, out wide for Nusa. And Antonio Nusa now across the face of the net again for Samu, cleared away by Alphonso Davies. Nusa, Almada, Adam Wharton, Martinez, Adam Wharton over the top for Samu. Samu will put it away, 4-2. That goes in. What is that wicked goal? Bayern Munich make it 5. It's a own goal of. It's not even an own goal. It's just a goal. Like, look what's happened here. We get the ball. We try to clear it. It's deflected, and it chips the keeper 5-2. We're going to lose the Champions League final. Nusa into Samu. 5-3. 6-3. And that's going to be it. That's going to be the end of the rebuild. We are not going to be able to win. It is a humiliation. Here, it's a successful rebuild. I will see y'all on Wednesday. Leave a like, subscribe, and peace out.